Hey everyone, Lauren Jones, business law and estate planning attorney coming to you from California. And here I am to talk about, should I put my property into an LLC? The big answer, the big, quick, easy answer is it depends. It depends. You're going to hear me say that all the time. I'm an attorney. Attorneys, we joke around, always say is it depends all the time. Because it does depend on the circumstances. So have I put properties in LLCs? Absolutely. As a business law and estate planning attorney, I do all those type of things. I put LLCs in trusts. We do all sorts of stuff like that. Should you always do it? And for me, it's kind of a fun analysis. I like to sit down with clients and we ask a lot of questions like, what type of property is it? If you're talking about your personal residence, no. I'm not going to recommend that. I guess unless there was some special circumstances. So, it depends. So I should, always just leave that caveat there. But likely no. Let's say you have rental properties. That's really when we're talking about it. And it's all about risk assessment. It's all about what are the liability risks? How high are they? How many LLCs do we want to have? If you had a single family dwelling home that you were renting and you had known the tenants for a really long time, it didn't have a lot of turnover, and you had a really high insurance policy, and I don't mean necessarily exceptionally high, just a great insurance policy with maybe an umbrella policy, I would say no, because your risks are pretty low. But if you are talking about multi-dwelling units, every multi-dwelling unit, the more units in that dwelling, the more risk, right? Because more people, you have 4 people, a duplex, you have 2 different families potentially. Okay, well that doubled your risk from one family ever getting injured. And then you have a quadplex and you just doubled it again. And then if you have 10 units, you doubled it again. You keep going, not doubled, but you keep going, right? So the more people involved, the more risk of liability, someone being upset, someone getting injured, something happening. And then sometimes it's not enough, like an insurance policy is not enough. You also run into the risk of like, okay, well, I have multiple investment properties, which is great, amazing. That's so exciting. So what do I do with that? Well, the thing you want to take in consideration is like, if you put multiple under an LLC and someone gets sued on one of those properties, all of those properties in that LLC are at risk. So we create LLCs most of the time to protect our personal assets from our business assets and make sure that if someone sues the business, they can't come up and get personal. That's why we create LLCs. So if you're looking at it and you're like, well, I put all my investments in one LLC and then someone sues, they're all owned by the same people. It's all owned by the same thing. It's all owned by the same LLC, all the properties. So if someone sues you for one property, the investments of the LLC are all at risk, everything that's in it. So sometimes we want to like separate them out into little, as we call like brother sister LLCs, like little family, right? We want to create a little family. But obviously when you do that, every time you create an LLC, you have obviously it costs you money to do. And then it's going to, there's tax consequences to that. And you want to consider, is that really the best option? So sometimes we kind of create little bubbles of like, I'm going to put a couple properties in this one, a couple properties in this one, and maybe I'm not going to put this one in an LLC because I have, a good insurance policy for it, or maybe it's just a vacation home that I only use once in a while, no one else does. So really it is an it depends situation because everyone's needs are different, and then everyone's their own risk feelings and assessment is different, right? You can have a very conservative client that's very risk adverse. And then you have another client who's, a little more risky with how they do things and they're willing to take the risk. They're okay. They're comfortable with that. So every client and their feelings is different. And then every client's needs is different. So we just want to talk about what's specific to you. So if you have any questions, if you have property, if you have investment property and you want to figure out, should I put those in LLC? Should I not? Give me a call. Let's talk about it. Let's kind of go through that analysis together. It's a little bit fun. We can kind of ask all the questions and figure it out. And then, typically when I'm talking to clients, I'm thinking it out with them. So we are talking about it together. It's not just me going away and then coming back. Like I'm sitting down and we're kind of analyzing it at the same time, which is fun to see how my brain works, right? Anyway, give me a call if you have any questions. Happy to help you with your business and your properties. Thank you so much.